So what mistakes or hard lessons have some districts made that you would recommend others avoiding?
I think some of the biggest mistakes that the districts make are getting stuff and not really knowing how it fits in or what you're going to do with it. Or, like we said, providing enough professional development that people are comfortable using it. Another thing that people do that doesn't turn out well is taking too big of a step all at once.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not a district. Sometimes that's a state thing where, now it's mandated. Every student must take computer science. I have 5 teachers in my state. I have to have 500 of them within 2 years. So it's not like they always have a choice. I think if they're able to work with that script, have a short plan, act on it, build up and analyze your gaps, always keep your state standards in mind, always keep equity of access in mind while you're doing it. How am I going to reach all kids as I work? Because some people have this vision that computer science is just for some, and all of their efforts go towards building this elite group of computer scientists for the future, whether they're cybersecurity people or artificial intelligence or cloud computing, whatever, which is a great thing to work on, but you're missing 90% of your kids if that's where you focus.
Yeah, that's an important note. And there are many ways that you can approach it, unless you have a district or a state mandate of everybody needs to do it at once. Some districts will do, okay, this first year we're going to have kinder through 3rd grade, and then next year we'll have kinder through 4th, and they'll just kind of like keep building off of that. That has a different amount of support that's needed up front than, okay, everybody K through 12 needs to do this year. You just got to take those into consideration.
Which I have seen that happen somewhat successfully, but it just takes a whole lot of work on that end. One of the other hazards is if you start with elementary, but you don't do anything with your middle school teachers until the kids get to be that age. Now the teachers are starting at ground zero, but the kids are coming in like on level 3.
Yeah.
So if you're not kind of educating your middle school teachers at the same time you're training your elementary school students, you create this strange kind of a gap.
Yeah, we actually had that in the district I was in. So it was a K-8 district, and the high school district was its own separate entity. So we had all these kids who had multiple years of programming experience, and then they would go to high school and there wasn't even a class offered at some of the high schools.
Yeah, so you have to, that vertical planning piece is where that keeps coming back, right? And the other mistake that people make is, and universities do it too, is just connect with the high quality resources that already exist before you start to develop your own.
Yeah.
So many people want to create their own, but face it, 2 years of testing in a classroom and refining a curriculum is worth a lot.
Yep.
It is a really big ask for teachers to teach this stuff. And if we're providing them with minimal seed lessons with possibly some links that you have to go out and sort through, that's not fair.
Yeah, and I'll say from a professional development and curriculum standpoint, after having done this professionally for a couple of years, we reiterate and keep adding and changing things every week. So those couple years of experience like really separate us from people who are starting right away.
Yeah, and lots of what's out there is free. I mean, it's high quality and free. So if you haven't looked at that, why not? That's my big line. If not, why not?
This podcast highlight was from episode 15 of the CSKA podcast, which is titled Suggestions for Starting or Expanding Your Program with Dianne O'Grady-Cunniff. And you can listen to this episode on any major podcast platform or by going to jaredoleary.com, where you'll find hundreds of more podcast episodes for computer science educators.